starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
All right, welcome to Cryptids and Conspiracies. It is Saturday night, and tonight we're going to talk about the big lizard with the big flaming halitosis, otherwise known as dragons. Do they exist? We have our four-tiered system. All right, either it's debunked, confirmed, in the middle, or undecided. And so tonight, doesn't look like we have our good buddy, Abby Normal here tonight. So I guess we're not going to get it undecided. He's always undecided. Always. But we do have a couple other gentlemen waiting in the wings here, including this
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hello. Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing?
Whoop. There we go.
You've just muted yourself again. And again. It's not me. How are you all doing?
Hey. Well,
I'm doing fine. So you seem to be muted again.
Dad, come out. So welcome to the show, Mr. Cruel Barab. Okay.
Thank you.
There
Yes. There we are. I'm here.
Dadgum freaking StreamYards. That's why I'm doing some experiment right now with Restream.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
See if they fix their stability problems, because I think that's where we're going.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess we got to bring this guy on.
I guess so.
He's backstage, so here we go.
Sir,
this guy.
Nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
That's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Oh, he's muted now.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Wookie. Hey, welcome.
What the hell's wrong with my mute button?
I don't know. I've been having the same problem
All right,
tonight.
Wookie.
It's just freaking StreamYards.
Damn
dude.
StreamYards.
StreamYards.
Oh,
So,
bastards.
anyway.
Yes, good evening. Hello, good morning.
All
How's
right,
everything?
no problem.
How's everybody?
Doing good.
Likewise.
To remind everybody in the at least in the chat of on my show, The Rabbit Hole, we do have a poll which allows you to decide as you listen to the clues, as you listen to the information, for you to decide if you think it's debunked, confirmed, undecided, or in the middle. So
Yes.
feel free to vote and vote early, vote often, and we will check at the end of the show and let you participate in determining the score. At the end of this, we'll come up with some kind of conclusion. Anyway, so I take it Mr. Abbey is not going to be able to join us tonight. No,
I believe so.
you believe so? Is it just going to be late?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. He's not here.
All right. Well, when he gets here, he probably it's going to be about a couple scotches deep anyway.
We shall
So
see.
it is what it is.
That's when the
what
party
it is.
really gets started then.
Yeah, really, honestly. All righty. So I got a video to play to kind of get us into the subject. And now I haven't vetted this video, so we'll find out if it's any good. I just ran it through the system and it didn't come back as banging off the copyright. So here we go. Let's play this video. There we go.
Dragons have become a mainstay in modern fantasy all across the earth, and legends about the strange giant serpents date back thousands of years. But is there any chance that dragons could have actually existed? And if not, why are there so many similar stories about dragons from different, unconnected cultures around the globe? Let's find out in today's episode of
Colossal Mysteries.
No one can say for sure when stories about dragons first appeared, but the massive, mysterious serpents are found in folklore of different cultures all around the earth. Throughout their history, the dragon's appearance has been described differently. Dragons in Western culture usually have wings, scales, horns, 4 legs, and can usually breathe fire. Dragons in Eastern cultures typically don't have wings and have a more snake-like body. So what could possibly account for so many unconnected ancient people telling stories about similar dragon-like creatures? Is there a chance at all that there's some truth to this ancient myth? Could this mean that dragons did once exist? Experts and historians are still searching for an exact answer, but they have identified a few real-world animals that might have inspired the original dragon legends. One of the most popular theories is that ancient people may have discovered the bones or fossils of a large dinosaur and mistaken them for dragons. In fact, there's even an ancient historical record of mistaken identity, dating back more than 1,700 years. A Chinese historian by the name of Cheng Qiu writes about finding dragon bones that modern scientists believe were almost certainly the bones of Shunosaurus. Some believe that both Egyptian and European dragon legends could have been inspired by the same animal, the Nile crocodile. According to the theory, the enormous animal may have ventured farther north in ancient times, crossing the Mediterranean and coming ashore in Italy or Greece. They are large, long, fierce, and one of the few crocs who can high walk, making it look a little more like a dragon. The final, most popular hypothesis involves snakes. According to the theory, humans have an instinctual ancient fear of snakes and other apex predators that dates back to our ancient ancestors. Our distant relatives were living side by side with pythons, vipers, cobras, and other dangerous creatures. This reflexive fear of serpents and other apex predators was passed down from generation to generation, instilling a natural fear of snakes in most people, even today, when the average person rarely ever encounters one. The earliest known depictions of dragons all around the world tend to resemble snakes, or very snake-like creatures, which may mean that dragons are nothing more than the mythical manifestation of our fear of slithering snakes and other deadly creatures. In fact, in most folklore, dragons tend to live in dank, dark places like mountain caves, deep pools, tangled forests, or other dangerous places that an early human might have encountered a predator. So could dragons be real? Almost certainly not. But that doesn't mean our past wasn't full of predators just as dangerous as this mighty mythic creature.
Well, there you go.
All righty. That kind of got us into the subject quite a bit.
The fire-breathing dragon at the very start there on the intro, was that from Dragon Slayer?
I'm not sure.
Looked like it.
I don't
It looked
think
like
so.
it might have been.
It could have been. It could have been. I remember playing that game. I never made it back past the first
No, it's
board.
a film. It's a film. Dragon Slayer. It's got, believe it or not, Ian McDermott is in it. Just briefly.
Oh. Okay.
He gets burnt alive and then becomes the Emperor in Star Wars. So there you go.
All right.
Look like Dragon Slayer.
Wookiee's got a poll too. Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, I have a legitimate poll in
Okay.
there just for you, Bunny.
Oh well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Eyeballs Kokoshuko Pakpashango, also known as Vince. We'll just call him Vince.
Oh.
You know, I don't think I could say that accurately that too often.
Kokoshuko
Anyway.
Pakpashango.
And that's from a Scottish person. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I guess.
Kokoshuko Pakpashango.
Anyway. All right. Now, that gentleman, he was saying that basically that he thought it was like dinosaur fossils showing up, and people just mistook those for dragons. Well,
it's possible.
I've got pinned in the chat. I've got a it's called Haunted Cosmos. They are very big, very good channel, and they do a lot of deep dives, and they came up with a story that kind of disputes this a little bit. So let me play that for you now. So.
The sound of the ringing bell echoed through the alleyways of Carlisle as a solemn procession walked along the cobblestone. Accepting the sound of triumph and majesty ringing out from the cathedral, only the pitter-patter of rain and sad feet stepping on wet rock in organic irregularity could be heard. No voices joined the bell. No child could be heard laughing. No old men talked at shop doors and market carts in the city center. It was just gray, sad, and silent. Carlisle, a town now old and ugly compared to some of the other bastions of Christendom in Britain, had lost its heritage from heaven, and everyone got the sense that creation groaned in sorrow with them at his passing. The bishop of Carlisle, a man named Richard Bell, had passed in the night. The parishioners of this small neighborhood in the west had woken to the sorry news of their spiritual father finally departing to be with the Lord he loved so. As with every Christian at the passing of one they love, these people also felt deep within them the tension of sadness at the enemy of death, and hope at the reminder of death being merely a doorway to greater life for those washed in Christ's blood. While each man, woman, and child, in their own little way, suffered the tug of war this battle waged inside of their hearts, they filed into the cathedral Bishop Bell had faithfully served in for all those years to pay their civil veneration and respect in his memory. Upon the conclusion of the funeral service, the good bishop's body was placed into the semi-ornate sarcophagus the church had made for him. This gilded deathbed was placed prominently in the mausoleum of the church, inside of its own tomb, within the larger hall of bishops that had gone before him. The people then began work on the decoration of the tomb itself. They hammered bars of bronze like the golden hour sunset into rigid sheets of gleaming metal that was tacked around the doors guarding the coffin that resembled a glorified likeness of Bell. Within these bronze linings, they carved images dedicated to preserving the memory of what this bishop had held most dear in his life and ministry. For the most part, these images reflected episodes and themes that one might expect from the life of a faithful minister. But one carving seems to betray a story that somehow got lost in the annals of history. Researchers and historians today continue to scratch their heads in the face of this oddity. There, clearly marked and conspicuous in the polished metal, are the black lines which trace out the shapes of two sauropods, two massive dinosaurs, whose necks are intertwined in an apparent symbol of love on the tomb of Bishop Bell. Why was this picture that seems so random and out of place, included in a slew of others that seem more natural in this setting? But this question puts the cart before the horse. The more important question, the one that really leaves people puzzled, is this: how did the artist know that dinosaurs had ever existed at all? You see, Richard Bell died in 1496. The first dinosaur bones weren't found The idea of dinosaurs wasn't even introduced in mainstream science until about 300 years later. What did a Christian have to do with a giant race of reptilian monsters that he and his people had no business even knowing about yet? Oh, and one more thing. The cathedral that Bell was buried in, where his body remains to this day, is one well known for a particular prevalence in its carvings. Within the pillars guarding the entry, and within the nodes of saddled texture lining the ceiling, one will find frequent depictions of dragons. Just something you might find interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's it. There's an awful lot of dragon symbolism in military as well, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Right.
That kind of
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, wasn't Dracula?
I was about to say.
That's wasn't I forget the guy, the actual name of the guy. But anyway, wasn't he
Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, Vlad Tepes. Right. Yeah, Vlad Tepes, Dracula. Wasn't that kind of related or intertwined with dragon? The meaning dragon, the Dracula.
Yeah. Well, or the order.
Dracula means son of the dragon, and his father was known as the dragon.
Yeah, there you go.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's
they were Christian warriors too.
Yeah.
They fought
Yeah.
for the church.
Yeah. Yeah, the church has a lot of dragon imagery in it. Like St. George and the Dragons, one of the like a real big story in the church church lore. So dragons show up a lot. But they show up all across culture.
Yeah.
I mean everywhere. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is come on. I love movie recommendations. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Not
well, I certainly recognized a few of those dragons anyway. And the
well.
Oh yeah.
Interestingly enough, there is a clip in there of a movie that doesn't have a dragon in it, and I can't figure out why it would be there. That's the gosh, it's a movie that has it's like a Star Trek. If the Star Trek oh gosh, what's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, there's a movie that doesn't have a dragon in it, so I'm not entirely sure why they included that. There's it was like a Rotten Tomatoes compilation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That's gonna drive me crazy. Anyway,
You'll figure it out when the show's
so,
over.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out after the show's over.
Yeah.
As soon as the show's over, I'll be like, yeah, damn it. Anyway,
Damn it, that's the one.
that's the one. But so anyway, so basically, this is something that showed up in cultures all across the world. Every culture, every ancient culture, all the way to the modern cultures, have depictions of dragons. There's multiple countries that actually have dragons on their flag. It was a big part of heraldry. Heraldry. I'm not heraldry.
Heraldry. Yeah.
Herald.
No, sorry, I can't roll. I can't roll the D's like a Scottish man. But yeah.
Herald.
Anyway.
Heraldry.
Herald.
So, yeah, there you go. All right, you guys can do it better than me. I'm too southern to say it. But dragons is like showed up in culture, and the idea that this is just like mere dinosaurs. Okay, now there is a big issue at stake here, and that is, according to the theory. Okay, it's theory of evolution. Mankind and dinosaurs are millions of years apart. Okay. according to carbon dating, which isn't accurate in any other capacity. Nobody uses it for anything. The only people that use carbon dating are people who are doing digging up dinosaur bones and things like that.
Right.
And so, in everywhere else, every other capacity, carbon dating is not considered accurate. But in that capacity, they're like, oh, it's just millions of years old. This is million, and but a lot of these things that keep popping up. What if? Stay with me here. What if evolution's wrong? What if mankind and dinosaurs were dwelling at the same time?
I think I know where that's going. And what if the dinosaurs were all wiped out by the flood?
There you go. Hold on a second. I don't believe in dinosaurs, but I still think they're cool. Yeah. Yep. They always talk about this big event that must have happened to wipe out the dinosaurs, and nobody.
Right.
And they're like, oh, it must have been a meteor, hit the Earth, or there must have been a climate change, some way, shape, or form. Something must have happened to completely, totally shift the climate on the planet. We don't know what this event was, but of course, it's not the flood.
Possibly be.
Antediluvians, people were like, well, there was a flood. Every major culture has some kind of mythos around a flood. Every single culture on the planet has a mythos around the flood.
They do.
Right.
And in the Bible, it talks about Leviathan. It talks about, which is a massive sea creature. And it talks about Behemoth, which is, again, another gigantic creature. And so, if these things, if the world is actually just a few thousand years old, which is the biblical concept, it's just a few thousand years old, and then mankind and dinosaurs dwelt together, and maybe a few dinosaurs were left over. Maybe they weren't completely wiped out by the flood, but a few dinosaurs kind of showed up later. And that became the dragon mythos.
Possibly, yeah.
That's a possibility too. Also, there's another possibility. And there's another reason why. Hold on a second. I heard that there's an ice age 12,000 years ago, but I don't know. Well,
I was waiting to say just before you go ahead. I was going to say, if you actually think about some of the creatures that we have today that can trace their origins back to, say, like the dinosaurs or what have you, they're all small. They're all smaller now.
Yeah, they're all small. So
it's well within the realms of possibilities that ancestors of the dragons or what have you are out in the middle of the jungle somewhere. They just could be small.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You've got those reports in parts of, what is it, South America, of the possible dinosaur roaming around down there, or something that looks like a brachiosaur or brontosaurus or whatever you want to call it. They've had sightings of that by villagers and whatnot for quite some time, over 100 years. So,
right.
Who knows?
Right. Well, they're according actually found some actual supposed live footage of supposed dragons. I found two of these. There might be some crossover. I don't know. But
watch out.
But yeah. Hold on a second. Abby, someone is here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did.
Parkour crazy. His wife and child died, right?
Yeah, he did.
That's actually just in the movie. That's not really what happened in real life. Anyway, yeah. So okay, so let's take a look.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a decent movie, I guess.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Gary
All right,
Oldman's good movie there.
So these are the first five. I've got two sets of five. So let's play this one right quick.
Blah, blah, blah. Gojira!
Well, I have to say, if that was Elgin, Scotland, that was shit. And there was no dragons there when I was there last. So
Ah!
I'm trying to think if I've even been to that tower.
B-Dog in the chat.
All right, B-Dog. All right, not Brian. How's it going? Oh, you're married to a dragon, are you? No, we failed. We failed to
Brian's
mention
in the chat.
We failed to mention the human variety of dragons. Yeah, we're not talking about those.
Brian's married to one.
But the second last one in Singapore, I would say, is probably the more realistic. I'm not convinced on it that much either.
So
but I'd say
the only question I have is in all five of those videos, you hear the background, you hear the ambient sounds. If it's raining or thunder, lightning, and of course the roar, whatever, other ambient sounds. Whoever's taking the videos aren't saying shit.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be like, holy crap, did you see that thing? It just burned the shit out of the whole... Oh, yeah, I mean, people, you hear eyewitness videos, you see these videos, people see gods, or they see cryptids or ghosts or something, and they're always talking in the video. No one's talking in any of these videos.
I know. That's
right.
If you actually listen carefully enough to the one in Elgin, you actually hear the freaking like monster roar from He-Man. So
yeah, exactly.
Hey, yeah. You know what I mean? You know that one. They used the same roar for Jaws: The Revenge, the shark.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like that's crap. So.
Well, I've got 5 more for you. You want to see if those are more realistic? Anyone?
Yes.
No shit.
Hit me.
Wait.
All right.
The dog's like, what kind of honky face shit was that?
Honky shit.
Yeah. All right, let's try these 5. Let's see if these
footage.
Yeah. Here we go.
Dragons. They're large, mighty, and a common occurrence in fantasy novels and RPGs. In ancient times, dragons were viewed as deities. They were considered the guardians of the earth and mankind. But somehow throughout the years, dragons evolved into 2 cultural subsets. Either they're viewed as cute creatures that make great house pets, or they're seen as vicious hobbit killers. Regardless of how you view them, what if there was evidence that they existed? Today, we have 5 videos where dragons have been spotted in the wild. Let's begin. Number 5. Cave Dragon. Earlier this year, a young man took a trip to Asia, and on this trip, he decided he wanted to go spelunking, which is the recreational sport of cave exploration. While going through a cave, the young man saw something moving around in the shallow water at his feet. Using the camera built into his phone, the young man began recording. At his feet, you can see a pale, almost white-colored creature darting around in the water. Its tapered head can be seen shifting in the water and looks very dragon-like in shape. As the creature starts to swim around again, you can see tiny limbs reaching out to grasp nearby rocks. As it swims, its long, skinny body undulates, reminiscent of the snake-like dragon seen in traditional Chinese culture. What makes this video all the more interesting is that it does not appear to have been edited in any way, shape, or form. Number 4. The Monterey Dragon. Not long ago, Mexico's media exploded because of a sudden discovery in Monterey. A most mysterious creature was found in the wilderness. When a group came upon the animal, they decided to capture it in an attempt to identify it. They had never seen anything quite like it before. The group immediately contacted a news station about it. The creature is seen being held and examined as the footage rolls. It was petite enough to be held, and it never seemed compelled to strike out at the handler. Instead, it just opened its gaping wide mouth to shriek and communicate. Unsure of how to proceed, the dragon-like creature was carefully placed into a pet carrier until authorities could be notified. Meanwhile, news stations all over Mexico were in a frenzy, sharing the story of the Monterey Dragon. What became of this strange creature, we may never know, but thousands are convinced that it was truly a dragon that group stumbled upon while exploring in Monterey. Number 3. The Dallas Dragon. This video hails from Dallas, Texas. Not much can be derived about who the camera operator is or whereabout in Dallas the dragon was spotted, but a dragon it most certainly is. This is no baby, folks. The massive dragon was first seen resting on top of what appears to be a radio tower. Despite the camera operator's spatial distance from the dragon, it's easy to tell this dragon is massive as it's filmed flapping its wings. Then, the dragon takes off in a leisurely way and flies out of frame. The camera operator zooms back out and we can see that he or she was on a moderately busy street, although those driving might not have been able to see the dragon as well as the camera operator had from their viewpoint. Do dragons really exist in the southern United States? Perhaps only time and more found footage will provide information on the Dallas dragon. Number 2. The Bat Dragon. This large dragon was also spotted somewhere in the United States, although it's not specified where. Based on the brief glimpses of the telephone wires, low rooftops, and antennas seen in the surrounding environment, one might guess that it was a residential area where this dragon was seen. The dragon is seen flying at a relaxed pace across the screen. Unlike the other adult dragon video, this one appears to have very bony wings, angular wings, almost like that of a bat. But this is definitely not a bat. It appears that the dragon spots something of interest because after a few moments he transcends behind a house and out of sight. Wherever this dragon calls home, there's no doubt that it requires a large home and multiple meals a day to stay alive. Perhaps it'll be seen again sometime soon, making its way across the wide blue sky. Number 1. Pito's Dragon. Our last dragon video was also of unknown origin, but it was uploaded in May of this year. It was an extremely cloudy and foggy day when he was spotted by someone outside. Pito, the young man who uploaded the video, seems to have stopped dead in his tracks and began filming with his phone after seeing the gigantic beast. This dragon is less bat-like than the previous one, but is equally large and intimidating. The winged creature is first seen flying behind a tree. The dragon careens around and is seen again gliding on stretched wings through the dark sky. Due to the stormy weather, the dragon is only seen flying for a few seconds before it starts to disappear behind a layer of dense clouds. Where was this beautiful looking dragon, and where was it headed? It remains a mystery. And there you have 5 dragons caught on camera and spotted in real life. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like.
Well,
you know, those birds sitting on that telephone pole, the power pole, sure really didn't give a shit about that predator flying around above them.
No. I would say that the first 2 were quite convincing. The first 2 might be something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The one in the cave and the one that they're holding. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something. And you might, like I was saying, you know, everything that used to exist that, you know, might have an ancestor now would be smaller. So, yeah, could very well be some type of descendant of a dragon, maybe.
I don't know. That the second one in particular kind of just, you know, I can't really figure out how you could fake that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little dangerous.
That thing in the cave. That thing in the cave looked pretty good. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, the real dragons, Puff the Magic Dragon. Yeah. And prove it exists, right?
My cobras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it always foggy, cloudy day, or shitty resolution? I know, because it's fake.
No.
Yeah.
That wasn't my cobras. It was the rare
once you call them chalupa cobras, you're missing an opportunity there.
Chalupa.
So anyway. Anybody know why he's not on the? Anybody know why he's not on the panel? Why he's hiding in the chat today?
Why are you hiding?
I do not know.
Pretty interesting dragons around the world. Welcome to the show, Trials of Gods and Men. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. The stories aren't fake though. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Now there's one thing that. It's kind of like with the whole Montauk thing. You know, there is a ton. I mean, I've been going through all week. I've been kind of like trying to, you know, make my way through all this stuff. and there is a ton of lore. There's stories all across the planet. Every culture has their version of dragon. And in particular, they call them dragons. That's the odd thing. In every culture, they wind up using the same term or phrase. It usually winds up being very close. If not dragon, it comes up being very close to dragon. And
so, do we think that dragon refers to a species or a term? Is it a term? Is it being used under the context of a term?
Well, just like we have like different terms for we have different names for the dinosaurs, but we call them all a umbrella term dinosaurs.
Right.
And there's multiple different kind of like categories of dragons, like wyverns, one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Drakes. Yeah,
drakes are there. Yeah, there's multiple terms for dragons. And it's just like if there wasn't something there, why is there such a preponderance of lore? Why is there such a preponderance of? Why is it still, relevant today?
Yeah, exactly.
Tolkien himself has of course, everybody knows the Lord of the Rings, the dragon, Smaug, right?
Oh, yeah.
But Tolkien was basically creating because of ancient Britain was taken over by the Romans and they destroyed the culture. England doesn't have like a mythology that goes back beyond, a few hundred years. And so Tolkien was trying to kind of like create that for the English Isles. And so that's the reason why he wrote Lord of the Rings. And,
cool.
But he used a lot of lore. He used a lot of documentation and things like that. And in his research, he came across dragon. You already have that already in the church culture. Churches have the dragon all throughout everything. I mean, the papacy has dragons in dragon iconography. Okay. And it's just all right, hold on a second. It's like a psyop that the feds fled the mainstream to obscure the truth. Okay. The truth of what? That's the thing. If you're distracting from something, you're obviously, what are you distracting from? Hey, look over here. Don't look over here. What's over here? What's this thing over here? That they're distracting you from. Hold on a second. The Romans destroyed the culture. That's why Ant and Dec won a national television award for the last 23 years. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
From
Britain's Got Talent, right?
Yep.
Not
Brian is from Scotland as well.
He is also Scottish. Okay. Yes. Fellow Scotsman.
Brian,
hello.
Thank you. Good to see you in the chat.
Well,
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Okay, on behalf of not Brian, I guess I guess I need to play something right quick. And all right, not Brian, this is for you, dude.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
I love it. That never told.
Yeah. All right, and this.
You're muted again.
It has muted you. Stream.
Yeah, sorry. And this is for the rest of us, though.
Who gives a shit?
That never gets old. That never gets old.
No, it doesn't, does it? It's just, that's pure quality.
No, it doesn't get old. Gabi, friend of the show. Depending on what mood he's in. All right. There is another component that we haven't covered yet. There's a mythology that, if you're a Christian, you believe goes all the way back to the beginning. Actually, before the beginning. Okashiko says the psyop is that dragons do exist, and that's what they're distracting you from. And St. George wasted a dragon. Yeah, right.
That's right. Yeah.
Evidently not Brian liked that. So
he liked it. Yep, he liked it.
all right. Okay. This is also from Haunted Cosmos. Once again, that it was basically almost a 3-hour video, and they just went story after story after story after story.
Right.
And they did have some culture commentary in there, but it was a really incredible video. I'm still kind of wading through it. But that's pinned in the chat, so make sure you check this out. But this is another clip that I pulled out, and this is another possibility. So here you go.
Dragon.
And also, after the interference, this God says that the serpent will slither on its belly. So,
yep.
That
And
could be
so,
where you get the term snake from, flying snake or snake-like. So.
She was high AF. I'm not entirely sure what she would be high on, in the garden, but okay. Anyway, typical Englishman, agnostic about every single one of them are agnostic, so or atheist. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she had some puppies.
right. But think about it is okay. What if, and he's called this multiple times throughout the Bible.
What's this?
He's called Satan. So
what?
We've been suspended.
What?
On YouTube?
Probably no. Probably on YouTube. Probably my channel. Yep, it's my channel. Yeah.
Okay.
We're still on Rumble.
Yeah, we're still.
It's still on your channel.
Must be those clips then.
It has to be the clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thing about it is I ran them through. I ran them through the system, and it said they were fine. So.
Are you, Bunny? Is your YouTube channel still up?
No, it says mine's down too.
Okay, well, we're still broadcasting on Rumble. We're still on Rumble on the Rumble channels. So.
All right.
We probably, Bunny, you probably just overwhelmed the bots.
Well, I mean,
shut everything down.
I didn't use the language or anything. I mean, we're still on Rumble.
Yeah.
I didn't use like the. Okay, we're back. All right, we're back on YouTube. We popped back up.
Not me.
Make up your minds, you morons! I'll slap you.
Not me.
Anyway,
I'm still down.
Okay.
So.
Well,
okay.
I guess I got a paid. I got a paid membership, so I guess that's why.
That's the way to say.
Well,
paid.
Anyway, so we're still on Rumble. If we're still on Rumble, but
still on Rumble.
We're evidently not on YouTube on Wookie's channel.
On my channel, yeah. Yep.
Anyway,
you know what? It's back up now on my channel.
Okay.
It is.
But it's just a visual copyright. It's not like a sound copyright. And they said it was fine to play, so I apologize. I ran it through the system, but that doesn't matter.
That's wrong.
YouTube.
It doesn't matter these days. It doesn't matter.
YouTube is doing so many things to basically discourage anybody from any kind of creative entertainment or information.
Well, a lot of people are speculating that they're trying to get the big outlets to use YouTube, and to do that, they got to get rid of all the small creators. They got to go move away from the smaller creative model.
Right.
And they're cutting their own throat.
That's
why they finally allowed Mr. Beast to face charges and face backlash and stuff like that. They had been protecting him up to now.
Well, that's why all the smaller people are going to Rumble or Odyssey or BitChute and other platforms, And hopefully Elon can get his stuff in gear, and maybe they can start broadcasting on X, actually doing stuff to be competitive with YouTube.
Well, back to the subject at hand. Now that we're back up.
Yeah, before we get segued right into something else. Yeah.
I guess I can't use anything that has a copyright, even if they tell me I can. I'm not. So from now on, I'm not going to use anything that they say I can use if it has any kind of copyright taint on it. Anyway,
they're pretty, unscrupulous. They don't give a shit. YouTube.
All right. Well, even if their system says it's okay, the bot will strike you. So there's no that they're not synced up for some reason.
Yes,
they're trying to cause people to give up on live streaming, I believe. Because I can't control live stream. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. Speaking of Satan,
you're back.
Okay, so all right. Satan is called the dragon. He's called multiple places throughout Scripture. The dragon, in the final, like the great dragon in Revelations, and because of that, there's a theory out there that because Satan is all throughout the world, and he's been here from the beginning, before the beginning, that maybe all this dragon lore comes from his presence in the world.
Could be,
and that's a possibility that I've heard. There's another video that somebody showed me that said that Yahweh is mentioned as a dragon, but I wasn't able to watch that. I'll have to go back and watch that. But that is the theory.
I know throughout some cultures, like in Asia and also in South America, the serpent dragons are more or less treated as gods or demigods than just some ordinary, terrorizing creature.
Well, there's also pagan Satan worship and nature worship, which is basically Satan worship. What do they always sacrifice? They sacrifice virgins, right? And who do they feed to the dragons to keep the dragons from attacking?
Virgins. Them? They feed them to the volcanoes too.
Right. Yeah, but we're talking about dragons. Don't get us off. But I mean, so there is a lot of correlation there between what we know of Satan and Satan's presence in the world and dragons in general.
Yeah.
As long as if you believe in Satan, then you have to believe that there's at least one great dragon in the world, and he's real. So I said I should say that. Anyway. Okay. So Archangel Michael wastes his punk ass with fire and sword. Yeah, he did it before, and he's scheduled to do it again. Until then, the dude's here messing with us. Lovely. Anyway, so here we are. We're coming to the final five here, and this is when we usually give our conclusions, and we decide what we believe. I'm a confirmed. I believe that there are dragons, at least one great dragon in the world, and I think there's just too much lore. There's got to be something to it. I'm not entirely sure what, but I'm convinced that dragons do exist somewhere in some capacity. Okay, how about you, Cruel? What do you think?
I'm so glad you just asked me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I think. I mean, in terms of dragon, I do. Now that you mentioned the Bible, I do absolutely believe in the dragon lore from that. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the actual creatures, yeah, I believe there's dragons or ancestors of dragons out there, or what would have been called dragons. So yeah, I'll go with confirmed.
All righty, Mr. Wook, what are you thinking, sir?
I want to say I believe that they did exist, and it's possibly they're sneaking around somewhere, hiding out. You've got the video in that one segment, that one batch, with the very first one with the guy in the cave, with that one swimming around in the water. That was pretty convincing, and also the one where they were holding it. Unfortunately, the video was not as great as people would like, but it still was organic. Wasn't something, too out of the ordinary, too outlandish to be mechanical or anything else. I think there are. I think that you got these cultures like South America, like with the Quetzalcoatl and the Kukulkan, the serpent gods, which are basically dragons. They're pretty much identical to the dragons of China and Japan.
Yeah.
And so it was the Southeast Asia area there.
Hundreds of thousands of miles apart, maybe even millions of miles apart.
Yeah, and they have the serpent dragons. Yeah. So you've got that, and there has to be a connection of some similarity because, these cultures, South America and freaking Southeast Asia, didn't really communicate too much, except for maybe the last, couple hundred years.
Right. Right.
Best.
Mr. WEF Patsy is chimed in. He thinks the beast is real. So he's definitely confirmed. Make sure you vote, and make sure you vote in both polls.
Yep.
Okay. Feathered equals or flying serpents. Feathered flying serpents. Okay, feathered. Okay. Sorry. Wasn't sure what you meant by that. Okay. That's Quetzalcoatl, I believe. What he's talking about there.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl and Kukulkan.
Also, Asterix, which is a dinosaur. It's a feathered serpent, according to, if you believe paleontologists. Okay, so here we are. We're coming to the close here. Let me check my poll right quick. If you want to check your poll right quick.
Yep.
What do I have here on mine? I'm going to 4, 3.
If you guys haven't voted on my poll in the chat, please do so because I only have one vote right now. So,
alrighty.
Take a vote real quick.
Okay. Yep. Well, so I have 66% confirmed. In the middle is 33%. That's off of 3 votes. So there's that.
Well, right now, before I end my poll, right now I only have 1 vote, and that's for debunked.
Really?
Okay.
But I haven't closed it yet because we're still quite a few people in the chat. But
okay. All right. All right. We'll close that out in 5. 4, actually, let's play the video. All right. At the end of this video, you have to have your votes in and Wookie's chat.
Please.
And
please,
so
please.
let me do the countdown. So here we go. All right.
Well, time's up.
The poll is now closed. What you got, Wookie?
I got 2 for debunked, and that's it, 100%.
Okay, so we got 2 votes for debunked. I got 1 for undecided, and I got 2 more for confirmed, and we are all 3 confirmed. And since evidently Mr. Abby Normal's not going to be on the panel tonight, we're going to assume he's an undecided, so we'll add him into the undecided pile. Let's just say that there's a history there. And that's the reason why we have the category. So we'll just go put him in the undecided. And so it looks like, as in terms of do dragons exist, we're going to say
Well,
we know that Peach Dragon does exist.
Pete's dragon. Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Well, thank you all for coming to Cryptids and Conspiracies. And we've decided hey, it's okay. I'm not entirely sure about that. Anyway, so we decided that we are going to go ahead and say confirmed. And next week, we had a discussion backstage, and we decided next week we are going to tackle, is the Smithsonian a museum? So this is where you play dum dum dum. You know, I need to get that music. So yeah, we're going to try to go into it with an open mind, even though it's the whole organization's a little bit on the shady side, quite frankly. But we're going to try to cover that as even minded as possible. We're not going to go into it with a try not to go into it with a preconceived notion, but let's just say that we're probably slanted a little bit on this one, but we're gonna talk about it next week, and then beyond that, we are going to talk about vampires. That would be Cruel's choice.
It's my idea. Yeah, I don't know why it just came to me. It just came to me.
Yeah, as for a conspiracy, and he decided he wanted decrypted. So yeah,
yeah, I can.
Nobody's going to put.
I just thought of it.
Nobody's going to put Cruel in the corner. Nobody puts Cruel in the corner. So there you go. Anyway, so that's going to be Smithsonian and then vampires next week. Smithsonian's worse than the Vatican. The Vatican's another one we could probably tackle later.
Anyway, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So next week we are going to say is the Smithsonian a museum? Debunk. What are your pronouns?
Pronouns.
But my pronouns are up and yours.
Up in there.
Up and yours. There you go. Anyway, to anybody ask that, that's usually that's pretty much my pronouns. Anyway, so thank you all for coming. Thank you to the fluffiest chat and all of YouTube on the rabbit hole and whatever Wiki calls his. And to all the Rumble people, thank you for watching. And to the X people, thank you for watching.
Thank you,
we will see you. See you next week. Same time, 7:00 on Saturday night EST. Whatever it is, where Wook is, and where it is, where Cruel is. I think it's past midnight where Cruel is. But maybe we'll have Abby Normal back next week. Maybe not. Drunk and sloshing around. We'll find out anyway. But thank you all for coming. And remember, the truth is in the middle. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bum, 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 bum.